Hello friends, welcome back to Technique. In this video, we will be doing a detailed camera comparison of two mid-range powerful devices with very similar hardware. We have the OnePlus Nord 5 launched recently, and we also have the Poco F7, the most powerful chip for this price segment. Now, both of these devices are priced at $29,999 with card offers, and they do have very similar camera setup. So let's see which of these cameras perform better in this price segment. So let's see the camera samples and then decide which performs better. So before going into the video, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's begin. So first, let's have a look at the camera hardware. Now the OnePlus Nord 5 comes with the Sony Light 700 sensor. It's 1x1.56 inch sensor, and it has optical image stabilization, f1.8 aperture, and there is also electronic image stabilization included. Now the secondary camera on the Nord 5 is an 8 megapixel shooter, which is basic 8 megapixel shooter, and then you have a 50 megapixel Samsung JN5 sensor. That's a selfie camera with f2.0 aperture. So that's the camera hardware of the Nord 5. Now coming to the Poco F7. Now the Poco F7 comes with the Sony IMX882 sensor. It's a 50 megapixel shooter with f1.5 aperture. Optical image stabilization is included, and there is also electronic image stabilization. The secondary camera is once again an 8 megapixel shooter, very similar to the Nord 5. And for selfies, we have a 20 megapixel f2.0 camera on the Poco F7. So that's the camera hardware of these two devices. So let's see which performs better. So let's first have a look at the daylight captures taken with these two devices. So if you look at the daylight captures, first look, you can see that both produces pretty good results. But when you look closer, you can see that the dynamic range definitely looks better on the OnePlus Nord 5. Now colors are very similar, but then probably the OnePlus Nord 5 was slightly better in terms of overall color quality, but not by a huge margin. Both did produce pretty good results, but you can see here the shadows are resolved much better, and the dynamic range looks better on the OnePlus Nord 5, while the Poco F7 has slightly contrasty nature in terms of pictures. Now this is against the sun. Once again, you can see here the dynamic range looks better on the OnePlus Nord 5. So overall, I would say both produce pretty good results, but if you look at the sharpness levels and dynamic range, that's where the OnePlus Nord 5 did a better job overall. Now looking at the ultrawide, both produces very similar results. Once again, not a great experience with either of them, but once again the dynamic range was slightly better on the OnePlus Nord 5, but overall quality was kind of very much similar on both the devices, and 8 megapixel shooter was kind of average on both the phones. Now looking at the close-up shots, both did a pretty good job. Once again, sharpness levels are slightly better on the Nord 5, but color reproduction was surprisingly better on the Poco F7, but not by a huge margin, but both did a decent job with the close-up images. Now moving on to portraits. Now here once again you can see that both produces pretty good results in terms of portraits, but you can see the skin tones looks a bit reddish or warmer tone on the Poco F7, while Nord 5 was more realistic, especially the t-shirt color was a bit more realistic on the Nord 5. But again, very similar approach, but then I would say in terms of portrait experience, the OnePlus Nord 5 was slightly better, especially in terms of detail, sharpness level, the skin tones, and the overall edge detection was also slightly better on the OnePlus Nord 5. Now moving on to the low light experience, once again very similar experience, but you can also see that the shadows or the darker areas are resolved slightly better on the OnePlus Nord 5, and both produces pretty good night results in terms of overall quality, and colors are very much similar once again. And this image you can see here, while it looks very similar, but when you look closer, you can see that the Poco F7 did better in terms of lesser noise and also more details. So that was the low light experience, very similar experience in terms of overall quality. Now let's move on to the selfie camera. Now the 50 megapixel camera on the OnePlus Nord 5 did a better job here. Now you can see here the Poco F7 results are slightly yellowish in nature compared to slightly better skin tones on the Nord 5. So selfie camera, the 50 megapixel shooter has better dynamic range, better details, and also better sharpness levels compared to the 20 megapixel on the Poco F7. So even in portrait portrait selfies also we feel the OnePlus Nord 5 did a better job in terms of selfies. Now moving on to the video recording. Now both can record 4K 60 FPS using the rear camera, and the quality looks very similar. The dynamic range and the details and color reproduction also looks very similar actually, but then the bitrate is definitely better on the OnePlus Nord 5 compared to the Poco F7. So if you are looking for better bitrate, obviously the Nord 5 looks better. But otherwise, the details and sharpness levels and clarity and stabilization also looks very similar on both the devices. Now you can also record videos in 1080p 60 fps on both the devices. Once again, you can see here very similar results. There isn't much to differentiate, but again bitrate was better on the OnePlus Nord 5. So if you are more into video recording, I would suggest the Nord 5 for higher bitrate. Now moving on to the ultra wide, again very similar experience, nothing much to write about. This is 1080p resolution and pretty much average quality on both the devices because it's a 8 megapixel shooter in action. So this is the 4K 60 fps footage taken using the front camera on the OnePlus Nord 5. It can record in 1080p and 4K at 60 fps. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is, and also the audio output, and also the stabilization for the 4K video. So this is the front facing camera sample taken with the Poco F7. It can record videos only in 1080p at 60 fps. There is no 4K support for the front camera, so you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is, and also the audio output from this video, and also the stabilization. So that was a detailed comparison of these two devices. So obviously you could see here Nord 5 has the upper hand in terms of daylight captures, portraits, low light experience. Although low light Poco did have a slightly better sharpness levels and lesser noise. But overall, if you look at the camera's perspective, OnePlus Nord 5 emerges as the winner in terms of overall experience. Even with the video recording, selfie camera has 4K 60 fps, while on Poco F7 it is limited to 1080p resolution. So if you look at the broader perspective, Nord 5 is definitely the better camera out there. So that was a camera comparison of the Poco S7 with the OnePlus Nord 5. So you could clearly see which is better here, and which of these devices would you pick if you were to buy a new device, whether it would be the Nord 5 or the Poco F7. Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. This is Nirmal signing off with the camera comparison of the Poco F7 with the OnePlus Nord 5. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.